Welcome to Lead with Clarity. This is a space for leaders who want to grow without losing themselves in the process. Each episode is a short reflection on leadership, influence, and the inner work that shapes how we show up for others. It's not hype, it's not noise, just clear thinking for the journey of leading well. The title of today's episode is Character Over Reputation. Here we go. Leadership conversations today often revolve around visibility, personal brand, reputation, influence, how leaders are perceived. In many professional circles, reputation almost becomes the scoreboard for success. If people think highly of you, things must be going well. If your name carries weight, you must be doing something right. But there's a quiet leadership principle that challenges that entire mindset. It comes from John Wooden, one of the most respected coaches and leadership thinkers of the last century. He said something simple but incredibly powerful. He said, "Be more concerned with your character than your reputation." At first glance, it sounds straightforward, almost obvious. But when you start to sit with it, you realize how countercultural that idea can be, especially in modern leadership. Reputation is external, character is internal. Reputation is what people say about you, character is what you actually are. And in leadership roles, the pressure to manage reputation can be intense. Executives are expected to project confidence. Leaders are expected to have answers. Organizations often reward those who look successful. So it becomes easy to start shaping decisions around perception. How will this look? How will this land? What will people think? None of those questions are inherently wrong. Reputation does matter. It creates credibility, it opens doors, it can amplify your voice. But reputation has a weakness. It's fragile when it is not grounded in character. Character is different. Character is built slowly, and it is revealed in moments that most people never see. It is revealed in the hiring decision when you choose fairness over convenience. It is revealed when a project fails and you choose to take responsibility rather than shift blame. It's revealed when you give credit to someone who could easily be overlooked. These are not reputation plays, these are character choices. And the interesting thing about character is that it compounds. The small decisions, the quiet ones, the ones that do not attract attention. Over time, those decisions shape the way people experience you as a leader. Eventually, people begin to describe you in very simple terms. They keep their word. They treat people fairly. They do the right thing. That kind of reputation is not manufactured. It is earned through character. There's also a common misunderstanding in leadership that is worth addressing. Some people believe strong leadership requires protecting an image at all costs. Never show uncertainty, never admit mistakes, never appear vulnerable. But that approach often creates distance rather than trust. People don't follow perfection, they follow authenticity. They follow leaders whose actions match their words. They follow leaders who demonstrate consistency. And consistency is one of the clearest signals of character. Think about the leaders you've trusted most in your career. Chances are it was not because they had the strongest personal brand or the most impressive title. It was because you knew where they stood. Their decisions were predictable in the best possible way. They were guided by principles, not convenience. And that's what John Wooden was getting at. When leaders focus primarily on reputation, they are tempted to protect their image. When leaders focus on character, they protect their values. Those two things can lead to very different choices. Imagine a moment when a leader makes a mistake that affects their team. A reputation-focused leader might immediately start managing the narrative, explaining, deflecting, protecting their credibility. A character-focused leader, on the other hand, does something different. They acknowledge the mistake. They own it. They focus on what can be learned. In the short term, that might feel uncomfortable, but in the long term, it builds trust. And trust is the foundation of real leadership influence. Over time, something interesting begins to happen. When character becomes the priority, reputation becomes the byproduct. People notice integrity. They notice fairness. They notice leaders who treat everyone with the same level of respect. And gradually those observations become the reputation that surrounds you. But it was never engineered. It simply reflected who you consistently chose to be. The leaders who endure the longest are rarely the ones who manage their reputation most carefully. They're the ones who protected their character most fiercely. Reputation can shift quickly. It can rise with success and fall with criticism. Character, however, becomes a stabilizing force. It guides decisions when the path is unclear. It anchors leadership during difficult moments. And it reminds leaders that influence is not just about how people see them. It is about how they serve the people they lead. So the question John Wooden's quote leaves us with is a simple one. When reputation and character pull in different directions, which one wins? Every leader eventually faces that moment. And the answer to that question shapes the kind of leader that people experience, not just in public moments, but in the everyday decisions that truly define leadership. In the end, reputation may shape how people talk about you, but character shapes who you actually become.